Nice.
All right, welcome back down to Chiefs Pit. Petty Brothers here. Richie Petty, Mark Petty, Timmy Petty. Special guest, Chad Tigert. Timmy?
From where?
Caney, Oklahoma.
Caney. All right. So give us some more Oklahoma towns before we get into this deal.
It's close to Atoka.
And where's Blake Shelton from?
Ada.
What about Reba McEntire?
Kiowa, Atoka, Callister. Just depends on.
So how far is that from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, sir?
Well, it's probably 2 hours because there's no good way to get there.
So Chad and I worked together in 2011 at RCR, and we're a part of Paul Menard's only Cup win in the 27 at the Brickyard. So
Yep.
only time I've ever kissed the bricks or anything like that. Didn't know how special it was till we actually done it. How about you?
I would say it's a definite highlight of any racing careers.
So give us some
to do that.
background on you.
I started out drag racing back in Oklahoma with some guys. Their last name is Self.
What town was that in?
That was in Durant
All right.
or Durant, depending on
Where you from?
if you're from there.
Cool. And so you drag raced a while, and then what?
Then I came over to NASCAR in 04
And what team you start out with?
on the 31 car.
Who hired you over there?
At Kevin Hamlin, I hired.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. I didn't know that about it. So I mean,
At RCR.
we'd kind of worked in and out for different outfits for the same company, obviously. But anyway, that was a pretty big deal for me. I don't know about you, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Was that your biggest win?
I would say yes. I mean, we've had some since, but with winning with Paul, well, it was special. Definitely special.
Well, Timmy's the only Petty to win in Indianapolis. So he had a bunch of Daytona wins and had a bunch of other big wins. But Timmy's the only Petty out of this crowd to ever.
Well, and Travis ain't a Petty, but Travis
Travis
has been part of
too, right.
the Indy wins as well.
He was a part of the road course and
Yeah.
the big track. So no, we was up there and been in and out, and usually we raced over at IRP is what we used to call it. It's ORP, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think it's back to IRP.
well, anyway, it was a little track, and typically we had some stories about that place too. But I never realized the importance of Indy till you look back how it was almost like to the day 100 years from the first Indy race is when we won it. So
Yeah.
sometimes them numbers just lined up. It's kind of spooky, ain't it?
So did you grow up in Oklahoma dirt racing, or?
No, we were always drag racing. Yeah, that or street racing.
Well, I didn't know if you'd got into the roundy track, if it was the dirt or the asphalt.
My first time to do any roundy stuff is when I come out here to North Carolina.
Okay.
So what did you do, just pack up and move out here and go over and apply for a job?
Well, I met Kevin Hamlin at the drag races.
Okay.
His girlfriend at the time was our PR person, and when we were running Pro Stock Truck, and they wanted to, he wanted to check out our Pro Stock Truck, so we put him in it, and he did some burnouts, and the track really wasn't prepared good enough for him to go all the way down it, so we just had some fun, and I guess by that he said if I ever wanted to come over to the NASCAR side of things to let him know. A few years later, that's what happened.
The rest is history, right?
Yeah.
So give us some more background in your early life.
Well, we ran competition eliminator. We ran super stock and pro stock truck, and then some pro stock car as well.
And now you've migrated to a tractor mechanic.
Yeah, now we're working on truck.
But you was just mechanicing on that drag car, never drove one, or?
No, when we would street race, that's when I would drive. But other than that, I was just always working on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us, now you have a 65 Impala, is that right?
It was my dad's car, a 65 Impala. It's a big block, 396, 4-speed car, air conditioned, super sport.
I just remember talking about him years ago.
Yeah.
When we was working together, you'd always be talking about that and doing different things or to restore it, right?
Right. It's mechanically sound right now and just sits at my house.
Well, our families went through drag racing, and we had a bunch of people coming through here with Billy West and Roy Hill that always had parts and stuff. And Daddy, he was big with the drag racers, so we know where that part of the racing world is. We know a little bit about that, but not a lot about it. So
yeah, it's definitely different. It's a different mindset, and took a while to get used to. mainly because it was small teams over there, and you kind of had to do everything. And then when you come over here, you do one little thing.
Did you ever know Mike Hickey back in those days? Because
I knew the people
Schmidt,
that he worked for.
And didn't Spitzer? He had a drag a pro stock truck too. Is that right?
Yeah, he drove.
So you knew them guys and was actually running against them, wasn't you?
Oh yeah. We ran against them all the time.
So
we actually rented one of their motors one time because ours tore up down at in Florida, and didn't have a spare.
Did it run any better?
So, I think we ran better than they had ever ran with it.
Oh, no kidding! We'll have to get on him about that.
Made the motor guy happy, didn't it?
Yeah, it made them happy. I think the next round we were supposed to run them, and then we had to give it back.
So what's your duties as of 2023? What's your duties now?
I'm on the 3 car with Austin Dillon, and I'll take care of everything inside the car and do, whatever changes we need during practice, stuff like that. It's generally just a mechanic on there.
Do you like the new car?
Yeah, I mean, it's just time to change. You gotta roll with the punches.
Nothing good or bad. I just had the opportunity to work on it.
We've been around enough to see a bunch of changes, and when they went from the 70s to the mid-sized cars, everybody was griping then that wasn't going to work, and then they got those working, and then they went to them other cars in the 90s, and people were griping then that them air dams and stuff wasn't going to work. So it's just part of racing.
That car tomorrow? Yeah, that's what
the COT.
Yeah.
So you better get with it or get out of it, right?
Yeah, you'll be out pretty quick if you don't learn.
And then the fuel injection came along, other than a carburetor. So we've seen a lot of changes, like you said, and I know you have too. So give us a little bit about.
Menards win was with the carburetor. It was still with the carburetor.
That was a lot of fun, and that was big for that whole family. That they had a lot of history at Indianapolis, and we haven't because it was not really a stock car track.
Yeah, we were Daytona people, and then after Timmy when y'all won at Indianapolis, man, I was jacked up. I was calling everybody I know. Timmy won at the brick house, brickyard.
I remember when we were pushing through Tech after we won, and pushed it up on the scales, and Mike Helton come by and shook every one of our hands, saying thank you.
That's pretty big.
Wow, this must be really big.
Yeah. It was definitely an event, and there's a lot of side notes to all those stories. But
you got another shot at it this year, right?
Yeah, every year. This year, it's a road course, so it kind of feels different when you're up there.
But you still kiss the bricks if you win.
Get to kiss the bricks.
You still got a shot at another shot. Those good times.
Yeah. A lot of deep history, and like I said, the historical part. I guess that's what I still enjoy about all the racing.
The history is still
and the people that you meet along the way. So tell us a little something about the hometown in Oklahoma, and you.
Oh, it's a small town.
And you cooked that brisket, and tell us what kind of wood that was and all that.
Post oak.
Post oak. You got to use post oak. You got to use a lot of pepper.
And that's what makes the good mesquite flavor.
And a lot of time. This is about an 18-hour cook for that.
Okay.
Well, you keep talking about it. When you gonna cook something? Let us come try it.
We're never around each other for 18 hours.
That's probably a good thing.
Probably couldn't handle it for 18.
You and Timmy were, because y'all were roommates, wasn't you?
Yeah,
for about half the season. For some reason, we got switched up.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been
probably because you was playing on the loudspeaker or something.
No, I wouldn't page no one at the motel.